Hello, this is a Foxxy game that White won by resignation, and it was actually a pretty big win for White. Even though White lost this group on the right side after killing the top right and then killed the top left, it's still a huge win. But of course, it could have been a massive one. Anyway, let's get into it. So we got the diagonal Fuseki, which obviously will lead to a complicated and fighting game right on. And Black decided to play a middle side extension, which is a little bit odd. Normally, in a diagonal Fuseki like this, Black can take one of the Shimaris and in a way try to keep it more peaceful. But in this case, it's interesting for Black to attack either d5 or c5 to make sure that White is not going to enclose the corner. And then think about some middle side extensions. Of course, Black can also think about the early sun evasion. So playing the middle side extension on the right side feels a little bit less optimal in this case. And probably Black's plan is to get a Shimari next at p3, and then his extension is in the right spot. But of course, White will prevent that happening. So high approach, which is fine. Normally when you see a middle side extension in place, it's more common for White to think about a far approach like o4 or o3, or at least this was the way to consider your approach when Black already has the middle side extension. So if Black simply secures the corner, then you extend back to the middle of the side like this, or two-space jump. This is a little bit flat with d3, so it's interesting to go high on the fourth line in this case. That would keep things simple. Same idea with the high approach. If Black plays something like q3, then you just put some pressure this way in order to create a sabaki and keep Black pretty low on the right side. Then just extend from the center. So nowadays, playing a move like p4 or p3, it's always the first option to consider. Obviously, p3 is the move that Black wants to play, so if White plays this move and Black defends q5, you can just leave it and attack the top left corner. So like this, White is speeding up the Fuseki already. Anyway, nothing wrong to play p4. This is probably what AI would suggest too. In general, AI doesn't like to play o4, o3, but that used to be the style for a long time. So Black goes for a low tide pincer. Obviously, White separates. This is good. Then Hane, pull back, and to space jump. Now, in this Joseki, Black already has a stone in position already. So this should be a pretty good result for Black locally, but it's also fine for White. So normally here, White can play Kosumi or Keima, or at least this would be the plan if there is no stone at r10. And in this case, White also relies on the ladder, playing the Keima, but the ladder is not so great because Black has a stone in the top left corner. So White can play Kosumi, Black will extend for a base on the bottom side, and then you can hit the vital point at s5. And like this, you don't care about the ladder because the stone can be captured anyway. But normally this Joseki, Black wants to finish with r10, so he already has the stone in place. So overall, this feels slightly better for Black locally because of that stone. But White just decided to block the corner, and this is absolutely fine. So Black defends. Black can still extend here on the bottom side. But when this happens, White can catch by playing s5. Now, if Black goes here, White captures a stone. Black will block. White can also play the peep. So this is very comfortable for White to settle the corner and also force Black into a heavy shape. Therefore, Black decided to connect at s4. And now White can play a pincer. But the pincer doesn't have to be that close. It's good enough to play k3 because k3 is where Black wants to extend. So k3, it's a bit closer to d3. And in this case, when Black comes out, White does the same. Black doesn't really affect this k3 on the way out. Well, he can cap, then White can go Keima, and the stones start to connect very well on the bottom side. So back to the original game, we have the tight pincer, which anyway, the difference between L3 and K3 is quite sensitive. Then go out, this is natural. Separate, jump again. White decides to go for a base on the bottom with this move and settle the group right away, but it's actually fine to jump out again because it keeps the three stones separated from the right side, And anyway, white's group will be fine. So with this move, is just to fix the corner, but it kind of weakens the L3. So black pushes through, white pulls back. White can think about this move, just connect underneath and give up the stones on the right. Because if this happens, white is all settled on the bottom side in center, and this group on the right side is not going to build that much for black. I mean, it's okay to discard these stones because in the end, black spent so many moves just to build this territory on the right side, which is around 20 points. But white also got a nice territory on the bottom and center to grab another big point. So you can consider sacrifice. But yeah, this is proper, just leave. So now black got the wall, and obviously he will counter pincer. His pincer can be just J3, but fine, he wants to build more. So probably black's idea here is that if white goes for a Shimari, he might come out with a K4 or a Keima like this, or even Ogema, and try to catch this stone on a large scale to build all this territory here, which is probably more than 20 points. So in this case, white should consider a jump out. Yeah, this is a good move. So just escape. The way white can escape here, it's also by playing shoulder hit like this, and then Nobi or jump. And this way, white is actually much lighter. So this is a Sabaki. But one space jump, it's really bad. So in general, if you want to escape, you just run out like this. Interesting move by black, but probably he doesn't need that. Now his weak stone is H3. So he can jump out too, then white jumps along, and then jump again here, or put some pressure in the corner first. This is a bit awkward as a shape point. So white is trying a way to keep black low on the right side, but actually it's good enough just to play Nobi. It's not a problem if black tries this kind of cut, because his shape is very heavy, and then white can just go inside like this, and now connect. So attach first, peep. White is going for a trade, but actually here it's good to connect solid and then just split, because this group is still a little bit weak, especially when white hits the key point threatening to cut at M6. So sacrificing the stone on the right side is not a big problem. Black is just building 5-6 extra points there. So it's more important to save the stone, the P6, to keep it connected. Now obviously black will trade. Atari, that's fine, shows fighting spirit. But here white has a better move, which is a Tesuji, is this kind of bump. Now with the bump, white is threatening the same thing like when pressing down here. So white wants to catch at S6, obviously. So when white plays the bump, if black goes up here, white will catch the two stones anyway. Therefore, black still needs to go under at S6 to keep them connected, and then white can hane on top of this R10. And this is a better shape for white, because if black comes out and white pushes several times, this group is already safe. On the other hand, when white plays here, this is not going to have the same impact on R10. And now when Kosumi, black can push out, then push again, because black is very strong in the lower side. This is threatening to cut, and now extend for a base. So white got this group still heavy, running into the middle, and black makes some profit on the right side. But black didn't handle this situation so well. Yeah, this was a slow move to go for a capture of one stone. So it's obviously more important to push out here and save the weak stone instead of cut and capture a 2-point stone. So white plays on top, okay. Then black Nobi. Here black can play a one space jump to be more flexible. So if white goes for a wedge, black can decide to sacrifice one stone in order to make a sabaki or a good shape for ice. This is too heavy. So black keeps running. Now here white can think about Keima, because already the group is safe, and with the Keima you're getting ahead of black group. Also, if you want to be more aggressive, you can play R14, then when black comes out, you go hane or a one space jump, so the group is on the run, and it's easy to escape to the middle like this. But Keima, it's fine, you don't need to push from behind so many times, Because like this, if black pushes and cuts, you have Atari and net. Nothing to worry about there. So once you play a Kema, black needs a jump, then you can play a Kosumi. Black probably slides to make some eye shape. You can attach in the corner, because if he decides to cut like this, now the group on the side will be in trouble. So with this attach, black usually will pull back, white has to play this, and black will add another move to stay alive. So it's actually very nice for white to get all this wall, all the stones connected, while black just survives on the side. And after that, extend from the wall or attack the corner. Let's say we have this basic Joseki. So white got a huge moyo for 10 points on the right side of black survival. So keep pushing from behind. Well, something similar happened in the game. Black kinda survives. Okay. It's good for black to play this clamp as a probe to see whether white goes down or connects, and then still add another move to stay safe. Black almost died on the right side. So monkey jump, then block. White doesn't have to connect those stones actually. And the way to connect it's usually T8, because like this you have some follow-up in the end game, a T6 or T7. But anyway, the vital point is to go S13. So when black captures two stones, white will throw in, and all of a sudden the group can die. In fact, well, black has this option and try to go for a Seki. Yeah, so no points there. But if black plays here, white will Hane. If black blocks, white goes down. So that's only one eye. And on this move is the same thing. So it's very dangerous for black like this. Well, when white connects the two stones, that's also an empty triangle. Black just survives. Anyway, it's painful for black overall, and white got a nice wall and sente. So white attacks the top left corner. For white, it's also interesting to play this cap move in order to attack h3 and rescue the two stones. But it's absolutely fine to go for the top side. Interesting pincer. Obviously, black wants to get something going in the top to reduce the potential of that wall. White attaches in the corner. For white, it's a nice option to play this kind of Kema and put some pressure on black. But yeah, this feels to be a territorial option for white to settle the corner. Counter pincer, very good. It's nice for black to play this one space jump and try to reduce the eye space. But yeah, white can settle right away. Come out, the shapes are good here for white. Hane, nice. But the way to connect, instead of a solid connection, white can choose this move to be at the same line with C13. And already when black turns and white no-B, there's plenty of eye shape. Also, white can choose D14. This again will connect against F14 cut, because this Atari and leather works. So when you play a move like D14, if black plays in the top, for example here, then you have a follow-up to attack the top left corner. If black defends somehow, let's say he plays a one space jump to secure the group, then you can decide to attack from the top and increase the box while putting pressure on the other group. So this solid connection, which generally it's okay, you can think about more flexible moves instead, like this, something that affects your opponent's stones in the process too. Shoulder hit is possible, but it's more interesting for white to attack coming with a cap move, because this can obviously build the left side. So when black comes out, you can play the one space jump, he will push, then you jump. So you induce the way to play on the left side and build some territory, but in the same time also come out with the top left group and then build the box in the top too. And once you play the shoulder hit, it's nice to continue with a one space jump and then think about other ways to attack the top group. Yeah, this move is nice actually. Builds a big box in the top. This jump is good too. Now black seems a little bit desperate. Here it feels like black has no chance to come back in the game. The jump here, it's a little bit thin. Normally, if you go for a one space jump on the left and get a little stronger here, then it's much easier to play a jump like this. Let's see. Yeah, the stones are connected and black is surrounded. So, well, black can live in the top. A bit painful, but then what to do with the other group? Those stones die. Well, he can catch one stone in Gote. Similar to what happened in the game. So, one space jump here. This leaves so many cutting points, it's a bit thin. Another way to try to attack this group is to just turn, and now when he plays the empty triangle, you go for a Keima. That builds the top, and in the same time, it's a net against the other group. So turn, if he plays here, you just cut. Oh wait. This can be dangerous in fact. So actually, we don't need to touch the top group, just push here first. Keep the pressure on the other group. And then think about H12 or preparation on the left side. So this feels a little bit thin. So many cuts. But in the end, black still didn't gain much from this fight. He barely survived, in fact. He can also play here in center. It will help the group on the left. Yeah, now he's alive, but still painful. Now the way to leave here is just play G18. So he played that one. Yeah, this is an interesting probe. And actually, white can just block it. Because once you block, there is no way for black to cut the K16. He will put himself in Atari. If he plays Atari here, you just connect. If he plays Atari here, connect again. And now he must come back and play G18. This would be a much stronger position in the top. Actually, he should play this move, and then when you connect in the top, he captures this stone, and there are more cutting points. So he leaves bigger. But once he played here, then the squeeze comes, and now he has to come back and protect that way. But black still managed to damage a few points here that shouldn't happen. Anyway, white is looking good overall. Shimari time. In fact, instead of Shimari, white can play C10, threatening the group on the left side. So black might bump and then Hane to make life. And now you don't need to play Shimari, but cap instead to attack H3. And the box on the left side will still be built naturally. So this shows that white is confident to win the game, obviously. Black comes out a few times. It's still good to play C10 instead of connecting, because once black leaves like this, you don't worry about those cuts anymore and you just Nobi. So on this cut, you come out. If Atari you connect, nothing happens. Besides, even if you're afraid of some Agi on the left side, let's say you play something here, when he plays Atari and he captures 2 stones, it's not such a big deal because the group in the top lived anyway. So taking 2 more stones, it's 4 points, but in the same time, white built all these box. And maybe this guy will die naturally inside. So just connect. Now for black, it's important to jump here to keep the group safe on the left and also reduce the box. On the Hane, white doesn't have to protect. It's more important to jump here. I mean, if black plays something like this and Nobi, now is the time for white to protect, not in advance. And for black, it's interesting to play a peep and then a Keima to catch these 3 stones. So black missed an opportunity. That Nobi was a little bit soft. Now here the sacrifice is very good. So give up those stones to catch the bottom. The box is still very big. And Sente. Here black should go up to build a little extra. And now, in order to enclose the box, it's still good to play C10. If black jumps in, then white blocks here. Now black has a problem with the group on the left side. Not even sure he will survive. Probably he will. Yeah. He can live, but extremely small. And then this guy, the invasion, just dies inside by without even playing to kill it. So this way, black can still play a 1 space jump and survive. But I think white is doing fine. So now black tries to live inside the top, and he almost did. The way to kill now for white is to hit the vital point. If black comes here, white will protect, and when black separates, white can force the eye. So there is only one eye. Now when white play the peep first, black can go p19. And when white cuts 2 stones, black will leave like this. So in the end, black will just lose 2 stones. But black connected here, and now he lost everything. And in this case, white should just cover. Because an Atari here doesn't do anything, white can connect, or white can Atari from the outside and Atari again. So the group is still dead. That's a false eye. Now playing here, black got a chance to reduce a little bit. And this is another mistake by white. White should actually jump here, just to connect to the stones at M14. So when black turns like this, you play a move this way and you're all connected. If he tries this move to separate, you just go no-B. When he pushes like this, you connect to the left. When he pushes like this, you connect to the top. So his group is still dead, but the group on the right side is not going to be disconnected. But playing like this, black found a way to push through. And even so, white can play flexible. So white can play a one-space jump instead. Now when black plays here, white will play the tiger mouth situation or the double tiger. And if black plays this wedge, you have Atari and then the tiger mouth. So this will be the trumpet shape. So in fact, white can still connect with a one-space jump. Yeah. Also, this is another move to connect. Now the monkey jump is still possible. I mean, sorry, the one-space jump. Then we have the wedge, Atari connect tiger. And if black plays here, you just bamboo. If he cuts, you take the stone, Atari you capture. Yeah, those stones shouldn't die. And now, well, must donate a few stones. But even so, it's still a good game for white. So that group shouldn't die. This block here is not that big. Should still do something on the left side, like this move. And then co-fight. In fact, this block is pretty big, but it can be a one-space jump. So quite curious to see that the group on the left side is gonna die. So right now it's alive, and actually black can play this peep in center to expand his eye space. This push is not necessary to be blocked. Can try to attack. I mean, if he pushes again, you just block. If he pushes again, you block. You only lose a couple of points there. Well, no way to leave inside. And it's better to play O19 for liberties in case of a Semedori. Otherwise, you gotta play many moves inside. Oh, here the eye shape is this one. Also, black can peep and then the hanging connection. Now the group is still pretty much alive, but black needs to play this move. So when white reduces the space this way and then hits the vital point, black already has 2 eyes. So this group should leave. But playing like this, white found a way to kill it. Yeah. Ouch. So if this happens, white plays here, black can go this way, white needs to separate, black can Atari, white captures and Atari from behind, and there is no way to connect to create the bulky 5 formation. But like this, probably black was thinking white will connect and then he creates 2 eyes like this. But now white can go up. So when black separates, it's a shortage of liberties. Therefore, black resigned. So many interesting tactics to consider from this game. But overall, a good win for white. Congrats on this one and keep up the good work.